I just had a resident call in if somebody could possibly do it for
Sue,
me.
you want to take the roll? You want me to? Mark Eastman,
Present.
Paul Bissonnette,
Present.
Dan Ormsby,
Here.
Jim Morrison,
Yes.
Ed Rankin,
Here.
Kathy Downs is excused, and Pete Stewart is here. Next is presentation of any recognitions. We do not have any. Item 4 is consider minutes of previous meetings. We have town council minutes from 2/25/21. How would the council like to proceed?
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mark Eastman,
Approve.
Paul Bissonnette,
Approve.
Dan Ormsby,
Approve.
Jim Morrison,
Approve.
Ed Rankin,
Approve.
Pete Stewart, approve. Item 5 is receive and review correspondence. Don't believe we have any of that. Item 6 is ordinances consider introduce. We have none. Item 7 is discussion items. First is 1861 State Route 46 foreclosure update. Sue?
Yes, I just wanted to bring you up to date on where things stand with that property at this time. The state animal welfare was at the property today and removed the horses that were on the property. We have been notified or in discussions with DHHS, which has informed us that some people who were living there, not all of them, have relocated. And there was animal welfare was there as a result of a report of a dead horse. That when animal welfare was there today, they were unable to locate that. The owners were not at the property, but they did take the remaining animals and leave information for them to be contacted. And as of 5 this afternoon, that had not occurred. So some people are not there. The animals are not there, other than dogs, I think, that are still on the property as well. Public Safety Director Gagan was there today, I believe, when animal welfare was, or some of these people were anyway. That is where that stands at the moment. We're moving forward with our notification process for foreclosure.
Any questions for Sue on it? Chief, does it look like people have been living there and they just weren't there when you folks were out there, or?
Yes, it does look like the place has been occupied, and that people were living there. And there was I saw at least one dog in the window there, so it tells me that at least I'm in hopes that someone is staying there.
Okay, thanks. The next item is ambulance fees, no transport, public safety draft. I hope everybody had a chance to see Chief Denning's proposal, or Chief Gagan's also.
I believe that Jackie Hunt is also on the call. Jackie does our ambulance billing, and she was going to be on the call in case there are any questions in regard to that. When I spoke to her this afternoon, she indicated that Main Care does pay, I believe she said $95 for a no transport call. That was what she had indicated that she did, because it's in addition to the work of the public safety people, she does the billing for our ambulance as well. So,
Questions?
Do other insurance carriers pay that also?
Jackie, are you on the call? Hold on just 1 second.
Chief, is that number, while we're waiting, has that number gone up or is that pretty much remain consistent? Has that been consistent for a while, do you think?
I think it remains consistent for a while, Peter. The number we gave that night was kind of low when we were back and looked at it for weeks before, and it was 15 to 20. I think it was 22 when we got back that morning, so it's consistent.
I believe Jackie is now on the call.
Jackie, the question is, do other insurances pick it up like Main Care? And that would also, for me, include Medicare. Are those charges, is there a price or a number that's picked up by other insurance companies on that?
Other insurance companies do not pay like Main Care. I'm muted still.
Medicare included also?
Medicare does not touch a no transport.
Does that answer your question, Jim?
Yes.
Any other questions? So it looks like the proposal was $40, Chief. Is that the number you guys came up with, and was that?
That's correct. And what I looked at, Mr. Mayor, is I spoke with Jackie a few times, got the $95 fee. I wasn't aware at that time that the other insurance companies didn't pay like that. But if you remember, we went from the 150 to the 300 something after a review was done. So we used to be at the 150. The insurance company pays 95. So I tried to meet somewhere in the middle, or actually lower than the middle, to try to be fair to everybody. If, in fact, the rules say that they have to pay, I tried to be less than the middle, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
All right. Any other questions? Is everybody, Sue, is this a resolve or is this just an internal?
No,
Right, this is just,
you would need to update the fee schedule
right.
to change that, and that requires notice and posting and all that.
Yeah. Is that what the infrastructure committee meeting was for? To look at that?
No,
Okay.
that's something different.
All right. Can we set this up for a committee meeting then at our next one? Thank you.
But it doesn't need to have a committee meeting. It needs to have, the council has to have a hearing on it to amend the fee schedule. And that doesn't have to come out of a separate committee process, but if you want to,
Just in case we get a lot of calls, could we set that up for a committee meeting on our next time? Just,
Yep.
it shouldn't take very long, but that way folks will have a special chance to ask questions in that type of meeting. Thank you.
thank you.
Next thing is distribute manager performance evaluation forms.
Those are in your packet, and the discussion of it would be at the March 25th meeting. My contract is through April 1st, and so those are distributed. I've also sent out to employees who, well, everybody, anyone who wants to comment, that goes through the mayor. It doesn't come to me, but it would be for the next meeting.
And I would ask the counselors if they get a chance to swing in and pick up their packet and get that information to me. You can either leave it at the town office or email it, whichever is easiest, please. And then we will have a discussion at our next council meeting on the 25th. Questions? Everybody okay on that? Item 8 is agenda items. The first is Resolve 2021-47 to approve hiring Oliver Associates to provide baseball field wall repair replacement options. How would the council like to proceed?
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
What, excuse me, what will this work entail?
Ed, do you want to answer that, or I can, or?
What do you mean by work entail, Jim? What is Oliver going to do for us?
Are they going to just find out why the situation is the way it is, or are they going to come up with an engineering resolve on what we should be doing to it, or what are their purpose for this hiring?
We want to talk to them as the wall committee to see what our options are for long-term fixes, because we've been talking, there's been a couple of other suggestions, and we just want to find out the best route and how much this is going to cost on each way they think we can do it.
So essentially, we're hiring them to just go ahead and consult with.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Jake?
Counselor Eastman? Counselor Morrison?
Approve.
Deputy Mayor Bissonnette?
Approve.
Mayor Stewart?
Approve?
Counselor Ormsby?
Approve.
And Counselor Rankin?
Approve.
Item 9 is resignations, appointments, assignments, and elections. We have none. 10 is approval of quick claims, discharges, and deeds. We have a tax lien from the estate of Dana Harlow, map 46, lot 39, 2019 tax lien. How would the council like to proceed?
Motion approved. Second.
Second.
Any comments? Jake?
Counselor Eastman?
Approve.
Counselor Morrison?
Approve.
Deputy Mayor Bissonnette?
Approve.
Mayor Stewart?
Approve?
Counselor Ormsby?
Approve.
And Counselor Rankin?
Approve.
You need 4 signatures on that one, Sue, on Monday or Tuesday next week? We can
Yes, please.
get some folks to come in and take care of that. Appreciate it. Town manager report, item 11.
Yes, we should have the second year road project out for bid this coming week, and we'll have the results for the council to discuss in April for approval. And bids on the fishing pier project will be opened on March 26th, and those will also be presented to the council in April. The most recent projections for stimulus funding that will be distributed as part of the most recent package show that Bucksport would get approximately $490,000 from the stimulus package. We will wait to see what parameters are for the use of these funds. So that's the estimate that was sent out today through Maine Municipal Association. So we have some equipment issues. A hydraulic leak has been identified in the fire department ladder truck during its annual inspection, and ambulance 3 is currently out of service with a motor issue. It says here I'll keep you updated if either of these repairs are outside of our operating budget capacity. I have the figure for ambulance 3, which is around $5,000, which involves Deputy Chief Denning. Are you still on this call?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Okay, if you could outline the things that are that $5,000 will fix on our ambulance 3.
Sure. For the past several weeks, we've had on ambulance 3 a loss of power, a check engine light coming on. We've taken it out to the highway 3 to 4 times. Matt's looked at it, did what he could with it. The last time was the other day. We took it out to him, and he advised to take it to Bangor. So we took it to Bangor. They've contacted us today and found that the drive shaft, the U-joints in it were no good, and those needed to be replaced. The turbo is gone, and that's probably where we're getting our loss of power from. And also they discovered a hole under the driver's side floorboard. You can see daylight through it, so that's rotted out. The ambulance is the 6-liter diesel engine, which Councilor Rankin probably knows quite a bit about those. So there are a lot of maintenance on those. They don't make them anymore. I think they were for only a few years, but the turbo and the U-joints and the diagnostic fee at Whitehead Ford was $3,200. And I talked to a local repair person on the hole on the driver's side floorboard. We sent photos and repairs up to $2,000. And he feels comfortable and to say it's definitely not going to go over $2,000 on the repair, but he wanted a little bit of room there just in case going in there by only going with the photos to look when he opens it up to see. But he felt pretty confident on that price, so that's where we stand right now.
This is just an update to this to let you know what those repairs will cost. That ambulance, we're not buying an ambulance in the next 60 days or 90 days or anything like that, and this $5,000 should keep that third rig running until it's time for us to replace the one that needs replacing, which is that one. But given our call volume, we can't not have the third rig.
What year is that ambulance?
The ambulance is a 2008.
So that's our equipment things. A reminder that the second half of 2021 property taxes are due by March 31st to avoid interest. With 3 more weeks to go before tax due date, we have collected 65% of the total taxes due for the year. I am also pleased to note that we have collected 75% of our motor vehicle excise revenue estimate through 70% of this fiscal year. We had upped that amount last year from $850,000 to $900,000, and it appears we will exceed that amount as well. In addition, we have already received $379,000 in state revenue sharing, and our budget estimate for that this year was $375,000. So we have 3 more months of revenue sharing to receive as well. And through 70% of the year, we have also collected 83% of the estimated revenue for our ambulance fees. Motor vehicle excise, ambulance fees, and state revenue sharing are the largest revenue sources for the town beyond property taxes. The fact that these numbers are so good is a good indicator for us, and pretty amazing considering that we have been operating in a pandemic environment for the past year. These are the numbers we would look to if we were collection figures, excise figures, revenue sharing figures, in our ambulance collections if we were being impacted by revenue issues, and we're not. So that's my
Great. Any questions, Danny?
So on the stimulus funding, did they give you any more information than an estimate of 490, like any dates or?
The stimulus itself requires that funding has to be in the hands of the states within, I want to say 30 days after, and then funding to local communities that some is going directly. The metropolitan areas, Bangor, Portland, they're going directly, but the subs, such as us, are supposed to be 30 days after the state receives the money.
Okay. Did they give us a
I know
timeline?
that we're talking with Superintendent Boothby that they're anticipating a significant amount of funding from this stimulus package as well. I'm not going to, even if it says you can, I won't be recommending to you that we use this money for anything to offset operational costs. This is one-time money, and if we build a hole into our budget, it will be very hard to fill. But there are any number of other projects and items that that you're working on or have talked about working on that I believe you could use these funds for, and not. I'm concerned about the idea of appropriating money that's one-time money into something that covers salaries and operational costs, because when it goes away, you got to fill the hole, and hopefully there's no more stimulus.
Yeah, I'm curious about it too, because I know as part of the schools, there was some interesting parameters they put around it, like when we needed to have it, allocated by, and with whether it's to supplement or supplant something, and so I'm curious what they're going to say when it comes to municipalities for those stipulations.
For many communities, communities like Bangor and Portland, whose revenue streams went down the tubes because of the way their funding streams work from things like civic centers and that kind of stuff, I think that some of this is being used to sort of backfill what their loss was. But it's a different story for us, so I think that we'll wait and see what the rules are. All I got was the when it would come, which is 30 days after the state gets it, and that right now it shows that we're on a list of every other community in the country, and ours is 0.49, and that's in terms of millions, so that's $490,000.
Thanks.
Any other questions? I'd also just like to comment that I do appreciate all the departments sending in their reports. It does give a good highlight on what you folks are doing out there. A lot of good work going on, so I do appreciate that, and I know other folks do too. Item 12 is set public hearings or hold public hearings, approve any licenses or permits. I don't believe we have any of those. Next item is discussion not on the agenda for the council or the public. As always, the public can call in. Jake, was that call anything we need to address, or?
I think that individual joined the meeting, so if they have something, I would assume they would want to bring it up now.
Is there somebody that has something that they want to discuss? It was on the agenda. If you could identify who you are, please.
They didn't specifically say they had something to bring up. They just
Okay.
perhaps
that's
wanted
fine.
to listen.
That's fine. Anybody on the council have anything?
I do, Peter, quickly. We briefly mentioned this last year, but on this year on our roads project for the second year, Sue, did we incorporate the transfer station repaving of that road?
That would be on our regular paving list. It's not part of the reclaim grade pave project, but it is. But in addition to that reclaim grade pave, this year's budget also includes our regular maintenance paving, which would include the transfer station road and access up to that.
I had a couple people reach out to me, and I took a drive because I haven't been out there in a little while, but that is horrible. We definitely need to do something there. That was it. Thank you.
Anything else?
I also have I'm the manager. I just had a question. So lately we've been getting bugged by
I'm sorry. It's hard to understand what you're saying. What's your name again, please?
Okay, so pretty much, I had gotten a phone call from the police stating that one of our cameras that were set up was going into somebody's room, even though it's just pointing down the walkway. So I was just wondering, does the town want us to take our cameras down, or what can we do?
So that would be a discussion you should have with the Director of Public Safety, Mr. Gagan.
Okay.
You
All
can,
right, I think that is it. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say you can contact him during business hours, and he should be able to help you out with that.
Okay. And you said public safety, right?
Yeah, Sean Gagan.
Sean Gagan.
You said it was an issue you had with the police, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
And also, we sent a letter by email too. I don't know if Susan got it.
Yeah, we all have it. We just received it before the meeting started, so none of us have had a chance to look at it. But there is a hearing on April 8th that we will be able to take those things up.
Okay. Trying to think. I think that's it. If I have more, I'll add in.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody from the council have anything? All right. Next is to set committee assignments. Infrastructure committee, so what is that for?
Now that you've asked me, it's gone right out of my head, which is as embarrassing as it needs to be for the evening.
Highway Department.
That may be, well, the highway department's one of them, but the 25th is the day before the other one was in. But Rich and I talked about this morning, and I can't remember. I'll
Been a
just
long day.
there, but
But you want it set up for 6 o'clock.
yes, they do.
Will it take a whole hour? Is that what you're thinking, or? Because what we also need to do is just this regulatory review to look at the fee structure.
For the fee structure, do you want to do one at 6 and one at 6:30?
That would be great. Yep.
And right after we're off this call, I'll remember what it was, and I'll send you an email that says what we were.
Sounds good. At least it's not on Sunday, correct?
No, thank you. No, it isn't.
All right. I think that's all we have for assignments. Like I said, we do have the one tax lien to sign. Hearing, seeing nothing else. Item 15 is adjournment.
Motion to
Council, proceed. We have a motion
Second.
and a second. All those in favor? Have a great night, everybody.
Good night.
Night, everyone.
Night.
I have one more thing to add. Hello? Hello?